Okay, welcome back to another packing video. So we're going to start off with this nice Sony remote. So something to do with these things when you get these is just to make sure that all the terminals are okay and there's nothing weird going on with them. This is somewhat tested. I don't actually have the boombox that goes along with this to fully test all the functionality, but it's somewhat tested. And that is obviously all listed within the listing. Which is quite obvious. Now, this item sold fairly cheap because I don't really try to profit on remotes. I see this as more of just a convenience for people just trying to do the right thing, right? So if you find remotes, or if you've ever lost a remote, you know how difficult it is to find replacement remotes, especially for older stuff. This is from a boombox from like the 2000s. I'm assuming it fits other stuff too, or works with other things, but he had actually reached out because another seller had misrepresented their item. And we obviously try not doing that. I was also a little skeptical because the price is so good too at the same time. So this is only 2.5 ounce. So like I said, we did sell this for almost nothing, so we're not going to necessarily overpack this either. So I am going to do a normal bubble on this anyway, but it's not quite going to get a box. I mean, the shipping is at this point is half the price of the actual remote. Makes it no better if we go with the smaller. You gotta watch with these because you can easily basically lose money or give stuff away. But like I said, I don't really mind this too much. This is more like a service, future customers, right? Okay, so this is fairly simple. Bubble and a bubble mailer and a little coupon here. They might come back. Who knows? Maybe not. I feel good about it. And I made a monkey. I thought this would be a good solution the way I actually secure the mailers. I have a couple rods here for the mailers. Oh, I love this. An order just came through. Buyer's note. Please ASAP, thank you. Well, maybe you should order better shipping then. Can I tell you? Obviously, we will do that because we ship same day. I'd like to say that our shipping is faster than Amazon's, but it's just the audacity on people sometimes. If you guys know what I'm saying, I'm sure you do. Okay, so next is this is might look weird, right? But this is essentially like flock. This is for, I'm assuming, like train kits or something like that, where some of these are grass, some of these are bushes, and these are different foliage, you know, model kits, whatever it is. So let's see here. Yeah, it's about 8 ounce. I am going to protect these a bit. Once again, always looking at what you sold an item for is important to understand just how crazy you should go. I'm not saying to underpack either, but realistically, guys, you can't, you know, if you sell something for $5, it's really hard to put it in a box. This is closer to about $20, so we're going to do that. Unfortunately, it's going to Puerto Rico, which always has more expensive shipping. Is this free shipping? No, it wasn't. It actually grabbed advantage. So I'm just going to do a little bubble here. I feel it'll protect it, you know. Can you go further with something like this? You know, these are plastic containers, they're not glass containers. I don't think they'll break. Because on this, what I'm essentially going to do is, let's see here, what would this put into this? And that was actually 8 ounce, 12 1. So I'm going to stick with that. But I'm going to give him a bubble. I don't necessarily need to do that. I can put it in poly too because this is bubble. So it's just like an extra layer of protection. Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of weigh your risks with some of these items sometimes because, you know, like I said, I actually prefer to overpack. And it's a lot easier when you're selling more expensive items. And I pride myself in doing that when the items are more expensive. But when they're super cheap, you know, you do what you can. I mean, I caution with that because people still don't care. Some people do expect everything in a box. It's unfortunate for them because obviously that can't happen all the time. I wish there was an option eBay where they can actually pin just how crazy you pack an item, right? So somebody actually preferred that. You know, give them a box, but then there'd be somewhat of an upcharge, right? Because that is a big expense, not just in the material, but the shape itself. Because with these, you can always get away with 12-12-1 in dimensions. So you save on dimensional shipping. It's all matters, guys. Every dollar counts when you get this stuff, especially with the cheaper stuff. But also, even with the more expensive stuff, right? So you want to overpack, but you also don't want to give money away either, right? So you have to get smart about how you do things. I don't know if we have any of those examples today. Okay, so next, let's do another small one. All right, what this basically is this is basically a battery box. You put batteries in here, right? They're not the best quality. I got them somewhere, I forgot where, but I have a whole bunch of them. Oop, I have a whole bunch of them. I'm assuming it's for like something with a keypad, maybe a safe, like one of those you know, battery powered safes that once you're locked out, you're locked out. So then a lot of them have this little thing you put in. What am I gonna do with this? I'm gonna give them a little bit of bubble here. Now this item's actually marked to no returns, which is one of the only items in our inventory marked to no returns. Reason being is, I was getting issues with these where people were essentially renting them, well, without paying, right? They were buying them and then returning them, saying they didn't fit, they didn't work, same BS. That's not true. Basically, maybe one person did, but it was a lot. Probably happened about 20 times. And basically, they just use them to open their safe and then they return them. And we were doing them free shipping as well. So that is not the case anymore now. This is no returns, and we're charging for shipping at the same time. We have a lot of room on this, so I will box this. And by a lot of room, I mean a lot of room in the shipping price, right? So always factor into it. What did we get? Did we, and that's on us too, like to make sure that we appropriately assign shipping to an item. But also you have to keep in mind that you can't like just put like 5 pounds on something because people just won't buy the item, right? They're looking for shipping, so it needs to make sense, right? So this we have in the system is a pound. I mean, it's not my mouse. You know it's not a pound, but let's see what this actually comes out to. So I might refund a little, but I don't think so because we're already at 463. I don't think it's going to go down at all, right? So, and the box that we had used, we had put a pound in a 1084, so we're going to ship this in a 664. And this is an example of overpacking, right? I don't mind spending the 41 cents on the box as opposed to the 10 cents on a mailer. And this is questionable for the paper box, right? To make sure that, because this is what I want to do. I want to overpack, right? I actually like packing, and that's why I'm actually doing what I'm doing right now, right? I actually like showing this. I enjoy this process. So throwing everything in a poly is not exactly inspirational, right? It can be quick, it can be cost effective, but you have to know when it's time to pack those items a little bit better. This is free eBay tape, by the way, guys. I don't know if I recommend this. The older stuff was better, this stuff, but this is questionable too. I mean, it's okay, but this stuff, what happens is if you look here, it actually leaves a whole lot of gunk everywhere. And it'll do that to your hands too if you're not careful. So, not a huge fan, but you know how this is. You get this for free, so yeah. Just throwing it out there. Not necessarily the best place to spend your eBay credit that you get every quarter on the tape. I actually like spending it on the boxes. What are they? The 1086. I enjoy that quite a bit. I think that's it ends up. I mean, their stuff is super expensive, but it really ends up working out well. And they're free. You know, they're priced pretty well. Besides that, I get most of my packaging from. It depends. So some of the bigger boxes we actually get from Q-Line. It's expensive, but if you get a pallet at a time, it's not so bad. But the smaller stuff comes from either the Boxery or this I think came from. This might be Granger or Zorro. Well, Granger or Zorro, I guess, right? And it's all basically the same quality. Even though with Uline, I rarely see any box defects. The Boxery has quite a few box defects. I mean, they could be worked through, but still, like, you know, you paid for brand new boxes and they're not brand new. And I know a lot of you guys don't use brand new boxes, but I prefer to. To get a comment about that, even with the the new paper that we use. We had someone who was a pretty experienced hacker. I'm not hating on his game at all. He had said, "Oh, just use newspaper." I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I would think that maybe that would bleed onto stuff. No one wants that. So I don't know. Like it's not something I would do, but I don't mind. Like it's questionable of how much this stuff costs. You know, the paper's very cheap. That roll lasts a very long time. So you figure you get about a roll for about $30, and it'll last a long time. And I don't have an issue with that. And if you buy the boxes right, I mean, it's funny how much mailers cost. I mean, these cost me like 20 cents. Like a mailer like this. Oh, I made a mess. I'm good at making messes. It costs about 20 cents. And I can get boxes for anywhere from 30 to 40 cents if they're below the 1086, you know. So to me, it's worth it. Plus, the item presents so much better. You know, like you tend to have less issues, right? And there's some items that should really go in a box to avoid any kind of or damage, I should say. And something on there, right? Yeah, we're sitting on something. Yeah, hold on here. I mean, this is heavy. This is a Duluth trading shirt, so maybe it is that heavy. So we don't necessarily weigh everything. Nah, see, it's 12 ounce. We don't necessarily weigh everything. We just do an estimate on, especially for clothing, and it will get us sometimes. So let's say it's a very large men's suit or something. You'd be surprised what some of that stuff could weigh. So this here, we're just gonna put this in a normal poly. I think this might be too big. I really don't like stuffing stuff in here. That's the thing. So, you know, I like to leave a little breathing room. Even though this probably still won't fit this way, but let's see here. Yeah. And we get our mailers from the Boxery, in case anyone's curious. Maybe you're not. If you are, you know, we get them from the Boxery. I like them a whole bunch. Like there's like a certain noise to the mailer, you could tell. I mean, they're not super thick as like the super expensive Uli ones, for example, but they're also not like the really cheap ones. So we've experienced a lot of different mailers. And you kind of tell, like when they're shiny, it's a problem. These aren't really shiny. It might look shiny in camera, but they're not shiny compared to some of the real cheap ones, especially the colored ones. These really do well for us. So just a heads up. You could even buy those on Amazon, or you could buy them direct. But I find that it's weird. So if you buy direct at times, it's actually more expensive. I'm not really sure how that works within their business model. Okay, so this one people might get mad at me for. I'm gonna open this. So this is actually how we stored this. Should I double bag it? Nah, I'm gonna leave it. This is a women winter long haul. It's a fuzzy fleece coat. It's huge. I mean, look how big this thing is. Maybe it's just because it's fuzzy. Let's see how big it is. 1 point. Okay, it's a little lighter than I thought. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Doesn't matter, same price. You know what? I'm gonna just double bag it. So these mailers are not great mailers, so I don't mind even double bagging this. I'm trying to get rid of this specific type. I forgot where these came from, but they're just complete trash. You feel them in hand, and as they get bigger, you feel it more, like as the mailers get bigger. That's why it's important for quality. But it's almost like, hold on. So this is a good one, right? And then this is here, right? It's different. So these are the ones that we replace these with. It's a constant process, guys. Let's get to put my little insert in here, right? So there you go. So you haters out there saying I'm overusing or wasting packaging material, I just have to put my insert in there, which you probably think I shouldn't have anyway, right? But I like having that. We're very fortunate that eBay allows us to really brand our stuff. you know, we put stuff in the packaging to help the customer. As you know, other platforms don't let you do that, so I like taking fully advantage of that. And there's really no other way to brand. I mean, this is like a cheap way to just kind of throw a mailer in there. Okay, so next we have one of these. It's a Duluth Duchamp London. I don't know if I'm saying that right. This is really nice. This came out of a wholesale palette we did. It's new, basically. I mean, there's some little things here and there, but I just think it's maybe been from kicking around here. So yeah, so basically, there's not much prep to this. Where's this thing going? So this thing, I did it again. Tape measure instead of the mouse. There it is, guys. I'm an idiot. Okay, so this, where's this going? See how heavy this is. It's hard to get these on the scale properly here because it's so big. Stay. All right. Okay, stay. Engineering over here. There it is. Okay. So I am going to, obviously I was going to leave this. That's silly. Okay, so I'm going to box this. So this is like a $75 bag. Not that I wasn't going to, but you know. So first I'm going to poly it. I don't have clear polys this big. I have some trash bags. Actually, I have to use a trash bag. This is too big for this. Or I just use one of my Gent polys. These. And obviously this item's been gone through just to double check. It goes without saying, guys, go through, even when the stuff is new, quote unquote new, when it's coming from different sources, go through the pockets. You'd be surprised what you find. Sometimes stuff you don't want to find, but that's also stuff you don't want to ship to a customer, right? So be mindful of that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do that, and then we'll use one of these guys, a little bit of a bigger box. Might make things a little hard to see, but stand by here, give me a moment. Ugh, hold on. Hey, we keep it real around here, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So this tape I'm using is not my favorite. But nicely. It lays terribly, but I'm trying to make it look good for you as well as for the customer, the end customer. But it's very thin, and I think the money I saved on this was not a good idea because it's just I'm using so much more of it to feel like the package is actually being secured. So okay, so how's this fit? Oh yeah, like that, right? Yeah, that's good. I could resize this, I guess. Will I? I don't know. I'll tell you in a minute. Now, somebody might be saying, okay, you're overdoing it with the package. Well, I don't know, man. This is $75 purchase, right? So eBay customers are different, you know. Maybe someone on Amazon or something might be a little less concerned about how stuff comes packaged, especially when Amazon does it, because I'm sorry, Amazon does not package well at all when it comes to items. They just throw stuff in a box, hold it there. Yeah, the logistics are great, even though I do think I'm faster shipping than they are, but we don't have the volume of Amazon because obviously, so I guess we're comparing apples to oranges. It's not really fair, but I just like to say, for the items that we have in the inventory, I can get stuff out faster than they would get our items out. Okay, so this is a 20, I don't remember what these are, 20 by, I think 15, let me see. 20, 14 by 9, yeah, I'm cheating. 20, 14, 9. Okay, so, then I have my price here. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to see if I knock this bad boy down to 7 in height, if it changes anything. That was 6. If I can get this thing down to 6 inches, I save like $7 in shipping. So that makes sense to me. Okay? So I need to take 3 inches off the top. This is when resizing starts to make sense, right? So you might say, oh, well, your time is worth more. Well, in this instance, I don't know, man. You know, so I'm gonna just do it up real quick. It doesn't really take that long. And when you're doing, you know, many packages a day, this all adds up, right? I'm just gonna try to figure out where about 6 inch should be. I can get it down even lower than that. Let me see here. Let's get greedy. What about if I go down to 5? I can get it there, I think. No, 6 is fine. So I'll stick that. So let's just mark this real quick, just so I have an idea where 6 inches is. Now I understand you might want to go a little lower because the overall height is going to increase when you have the flaps and you have all that stuff. So let's do a quick resize here. Okay. If you guys ever use one of these, but essentially it scores the box on the inside, and then you just cut the edges. I'll show you. It's fairly simple. Some people do this by hand. They're good. Easier to do on smaller boxes by hand. I mean, we resize in all kinds of different directions. With this, I like to prefer the tool. I prefer the tool because I'm going to get a fairly straight line. I mean, obviously, there's a human touch here that messes these up. And the better your boxes are, the harder it is to do. These are pretty good boxes. Okay? I don't think this is Uline. This is from another local distributor I've used that's very comparable to Uline. But we do have the same exact size of Uline, and I really don't see the difference. I don't know. I think their stuff is kind of overrated. Their tape is pretty good. They're not their clear tape, but their gum tape. You know, stuff used with a tape machine and stuff you have to add water to. That stuff's pretty good. Especially if we have 2 tape machines, so we have a Uline machine and then we have a Better Pack. The Better Pack will just, it's a monster. It doesn't matter what you put in there. The Uline one actually, maybe it's in my head, but it feels like it does better with the Uline tape. Okay, so now that we've scored the edges, kind of put the sides in here. And you can go either direction, right? You can go this way, you can go the other way, but I prefer going this way, right? Okay. Now this makes the box a lot stronger. I'm not saying do this all the time, right? But when you, there's no reason to even guess to see, hey, will I save money if I do this? You can just change the shipping on eBay, right? And see if you will save money. How about you guys? You have an addiction to box cutters, like all kinds of different box cutters. What kind of meal, man? I can't go to Walmart and buying a new box cutter. It's like a thing. But, you know, it's not just me here, so a lot of people use box cutters, use them all day, so. But some I try to keep it my side, because people like stealing my stuff. And, you know? Let the guys use they're fine, there's nothing wrong with them, the good ones, but not the expensive ones. They can bring their own, right? No one's stopping you from doing that. It matters to you that much. At the end of the day, it's a razor blade. They're all the same, but I don't know. Guys like tools. Maybe the gals do too. So, that's the only tool really gets used for the box. It's okay. I'll put a little something right here. don't like making the boxes too taped up, you know. But understand, by the time this gets to the customer, all this stuff is covered out. You don't know what this thing's gonna look like anyway. But yeah, I try to pack for the worst, but not a hurricane either, because I can't hook that up. Good here. Okay, that's good. I'm fine with that. All right. Actually, I saved. Okay. So I like to put my labels on tape all the time. I always try to overlap on the tape. And the reason why I do that is I find the tape to be more, like things adhere better to the tape than the actual boxes. Actually, we have one more, but I didn't pull it yet. How far is this? Okay. Anyway. Okay, grab the box I'm going to use as well. After a while, guys, you'll know which box works for what, right? You'll have your go-to for certain things. This is a Tommy Hilfiger tuxedo, okay? This sold for $41.58, so I will box this up. It's clothing, right? So clothing could technically go in a poly handle, but really, you know, I like to look at how much stuff sold for to determine. Like, I know it'll get there fine in a poly, but if you spent over $35, and I'm not adding too much to the shipping weight, I think, you know, things should get a box. Yeah, so 2.5 pounds. A little trick for you there. I mean, granted, this doesn't include the paper, but more or less, that just added, you know, like 5 ounces to it. So just so you know, box does add weight, right? Oh, you have it? It's small, right? Yeah. So then we're gonna do 12, 10, 3. In this case, I actually ended up adding $2 to it. Right? It's the guy who said, please ship the ASN. So I know this guy's going to be a pain in the ass. He's probably... so, you know, we'll put it in a box for him. People... Not saying everybody who messages you is going to try to give you problems, but... When I have a feeling, right? So let's go a little above and beyond and just make sure that we just avoid the problem from the get-go. There's no reason for... Let's just not box it. The other thing with this is too, it's a tuxedo. So stuff like this, maybe we do offer free returns. I will closely look at this item if this item gets returned. If I feel that the person wore it, I will charge them restocking. Right? We technically did return it, right? This has tags on top of it, right? So the tags are removed. But even if the tags weren't removed, if I get a worn item back, I'm going to charge restocking. It's just the way it is. And I tell them that. So we have a process in place that when someone opens a return, especially if they've had an item for a while, you know, like say a couple weeks, if they return it right away, it's less of an issue, right? But if they've had an item for a couple weeks, I start to think they wore it. And that's fine. That's fine. You're allowed to, right? You can wear it if you don't like it, but in the same sense, if I have to clean it or if it had a tag, right, I should be able to charge restocking because it's not my fault, right? So, you know, our returns don't say wear it all you want. It says, hey, we have free returns. So, and in those cases, we also do not refund the initial shipping. So obviously the return shipping, you have to eat when you do free returns, but we will not refund the shipping out to them, and no matter what, unless it's something where it was not described accurately for whatever reason. It's important to look at the return reason when a customer opens a return, and if it's something that's wrong, what they're saying, and you know it is, just kind of message them and mention it to them. So what happens too is if you tell people that, hey, yeah, I'm going to charge you restocking if this item was worn, right? And there's a nice way to put it. Say, hey, you know, we'll accept your return, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for whatever. Please ensure you return an unworn item. You return, if the item had tags, the item still has the tags attached. Otherwise, it'll be a restocking fee. You'd be surprised how many returns never come back. So people know if you call them out on it before they even ship it, they know it's not worth having that battle. If you try to do that after the fact, it becomes a problem. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Let me know how I did.